Hello, Natalie again. So Natalie, the floor is yours. You can start to make a presentation. Natalie?
Natalie has escaped.
Natalie, are you with us? Yes, I see that Natalie's microphone is at least active.
Hello?
Hello, Natalie. Yes. Please start your
Hello?
presentation.
Hello?
Yes, we hear you.
No. Hello?
Hello. Yes, we hear you, Natalie.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, that's better. Sorry. I would just, I need to be straight because I received new PCs, new headphone, everything is new. Sometimes I have technical issues. Sorry for this. Just to present myself also regarding the expertise, reporting and monitoring. In fact, I work at National Geographic Institute of Belgium, and I am member of the MIG technical group, the maintenance and implementation groups, and I am in charge in Belgium of the monitoring and reporting for the federal level. So I have not worked specifically in the working group, which has worked on the changes and which is under this matter, but as MIG member, I have been informed of the progress of their work. So there is no any common I have information on the topic.
I'm sorry, Natalie, but sorry. Could you try to fix a bit your microphone because it's not very clear. So, or maybe you can come closer to the microphone, so it's a bit
okay.
Perturbed.
Is it better?
Yeah, it is okay now. We can hear, so you can continue, but maybe in the slower mode. Yeah.
Okay, sorry for that. So as I was saying, do you hear me?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So as I was saying, I have collected all the suitable documentation that enhance clarify the state of the art in the implementation and the involved in order to provide a good overview. So if any of you want to provide additional or comment, please feel free to use the microphone. That's okay? Do you hear me?
No, we don't hear you very well. So we hear you a bit, but your voice is perturbed. Could you try to change the audio because at the beginning it was much better. It seems that you have switched your microphone to some other device. If you go to audio and then click the correct device from your microphone options.
Hello?
Oh yeah, it's much better.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's much better. Okay.
Yeah.
So next, please. Yes. So just to so I will introduce the agenda. So the first is to give you the rationale of the change, so the historical reasons and the problems that have led to the changes. Then to provide you the change in the indicators, as well in the reporting, and what it will be the next step in the implementation of the monitoring and reporting, mainly for the transitional period of 2019. There will be also some technical impact in future in the implementation process, but it will be just an introduction, as it will be mainly analyzed in the second half of this year. And then some conclusions. Next. So, just starting from the very beginning, in October 2016, policy drivers has evaluated the progress of the INSPIRE implementation and did a refit exercises. And one of the main outcomes has been to simplify the INSPIRE implementation as a whole. Another main goal has been also to orientate the implementation of INSPIRE so that it fit for purpose, and looking to the priority European use case, it was to facilitate the access to the environmental information reported under the environmental acquis. So all this finding and conclusion has been translated into the a work program. The work program, I put the link. So could you come back to the previous slide, Solius? So in this work program, I have also provided this link, and I would encourage you really to look at this, because you have all the progress that are made under the MICT and the work program, and all the documents regarding any progress, any issues, and any actions are there. So it's really the open door on this MIG activity. Next, please. So the actions, one of the action has been to create a working group with, the previous, yes, thank you. One of the action was to create a working group with the aim to streamline and simplify the reporting progress in order to minimize the administrative burden to collect the information. And of course, a second purpose was to revise, to be fit for purpose, and to provide derivable indicator that should be automatically calculated. Next. They have analyzed the current monitoring and reporting process, and what are the conclusion and recommendation? In fact, there is indeed room for improvement. First, about the reporting. And in the reporting currently, they have analyzed and conclude that there was a lot of non-comparable textual information that represent a significant burden for member states to provide and for EU reporting actors to process. Most of the time, the texts are quite different. Member states have decided from their own how to provide information, so it's not really possible to create consistent reporting at EU level. Second point was that there is a significant number of indicators which don't allow for a clear insight into the implementation progress. It's just giving a state of level, the number of data set, but it is difficult to see how far from year to year there has been progress. Third point is that the updated information should be collected in an easier, comparable, and less burdensome way for all reporting actors. Actually, we use this XML file, but the idea is to erase this process, and I will explain how. Next, please. The fourth slide. Yes, thank you. The simplification, the objective is really to review this monitoring and reporting to fit for a better evaluation of the implementation progress. So to support better comparison in the implementation level between member states, simplification, and allow national and EU-wide overview. To reduce also the burden in the administrative monitoring and reporting, and fine-tune existing indicators to make them fit for purpose and for evaluating the implementation progress and the impact of the INSPIRE directive. Next. So the idea, the key principle is to maximize the reuse of the metadata and the discovery network service for reporting progress by collecting the information from the metadata for calculating the monitoring, but also for a part of the reporting. Another key principle is to implement the once-only principle and make it less burdensome for member states to provide necessary information. Another point is to revise this set of indicators for a better insight in the implementation progress. And as I told you, it will be also a topic for reporting. And the last key principle is that they have completely reviewed the reporting by providing country fiches for better visualization of the indicator, assessment also of the progress, and a better comparison across member states. Next. So, regarding the indicators, the amount of total indicator has been reduced from 48 to 19 indicators. And 3 new indicators has been created. So the first one is the number of datasets that are being used for reporting under the environmental acquis, which is linked to the list of priority datasets which has been asked to all member states to identify. So, for example, if you have dataset identified for the Water Framework Directive or the air quality, this should be as well documented and reported under the INSPIRE directive. This, of course, should lead to a better insight. The other 2 new indicators is to get a better idea of the coverage of the data sets by making the distinction between national coverage and regional one. These indicators should lead to a better insight of the availability of the information at a national level. So before we had this indicator which give 100% of the relevant area, but it's not giving really the real extent at national level. So far, in my opinion, no, it's a key information that should be provided. What will be the implication of the metadata is that there is no change in the structure of the metadata, but in the quality of the metadata content, and mainly by means of additional keywords. Next, please. Next. So, what are the removals? The removals are owned by condition metadata. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So they are really conditioned by the metadata content. So, for example, we have stopped the collection of the annual number of requests because it's not possible to document it into the metadata content. Another point is that there will be a kind of generalization. So we have now restricted the number of indicators regarding the number of data set. There will be no more distinction between annexes. It will be the case for the number of data set, but also the number of services. And they have also stopped the collection of the relevant and actual area of spatial data set, as it will be replaced by the two new indicators, national and regional coverage. Next, please. So just introduce you a little bit this national notion, what it means. And I have just show you in the picture the official descriptions. So it will be defined in the registry. There are different cases, and I think it's the classical one. It's the data set which has effectively a national coverage, but it might be also data set which are nationally organized. That means that the authority which is maintaining data set might be at a regional or local level, but the data set has been aggregated and harmonized so that it is available and usable at national level. So I would say also documented at national level. There are also other aspects we can consider, is that it is of national importance. For example, the coastline is not covering a national territory, but it's considered as the national level of information. Next, please. So, regional, you see here the description. I would say regional can be classified as what is not national. And there are different possibilities, is what is not available nationally. So it's really provided at regional level, but it's not available for all territory. Or it might be just aggregated at regional level and documented at regional level as well. Next step. Next, please. So, what are the implications in the metadata? As I told you, there is no change in the structure, but it really implicates the data content. By means of additional keywords, these keywords are referring to the INSPIRE registry, so you will have to identify the data set which are topic for e-reporting, and the data set which are covering national coverage or regional one. There is, of course, a very important principle related to data service linking. That means that in the indicator, if you want to know that, if the indicator wants to register that your data is viewable and downloadable or discoverable, you need to ensure this interoperability and data services linking. And all this should be documented correctly in your metadata elements. That means that most of the time you should correctly provide UID of your metadata at the right place. This is also some things that is in development, and guidelines are going on for providing this good interoperability. Next, please. Now we can go to the reporting. Big change as well. So we forget this 3-year report and we come back with something totally new, which is the country fiche. Country fiche should be simple. And there is a template that I can show you now, which is composed of several parts. It's a mixture, in fact, of monitoring, of automated process, and of textual information. So I have provided you in red rectangle what should come from the monitoring and should come from the indicator, and will be provided in an automated way. So you will not have to do it. The other part is an textual part, so it should be provided by the member state. So this country feature is also will be provided annually, and I think it's a law also to member state to modify it if needed. Next, please. So just to show you what will be the automated part. The automated part is really will look like the INSPIRE dashboard, and it will be referred to the progress of the country for different aspects, the number of data set, the metadata which are documented, the different part of the data which are in Annex 1, 2, or 3, all this kind of what you can see actually on the dashboard of the European portal will be also a part of this reporting. Next, please. The other automatic part is how the country is doing, and it's really showing you a progress in the implementation. It's not showing how far you have go, but how you are progressing. And you see the different light colors, so it's really for decision-making process. And given you if you have made some efforts to do so, if some action has been done to from 1 year to 2 years, so to progress in the implementation. What is important is to look also to the 4 main topics, which is the key information the European Commission wants to get. It's identification of special data set. Are they documented? Are they accessible through discovery, view, and download services? And are the data set interoperable according to the INSPIRE data specification? Next, please. So, of course, this should make the EU reporting quite much easier. And I give you here in this slide the link to the first exercise of the European reporting done on the 3-year reporting of 2013 and 2015, I think, yes. So, and it's showing you a comparable table of the different progress in the country. This is also available on the EU portal. So if you go to INSPIRE in your country, you will find the dashboard and also your country fiche and this summary report. Next, please. Next. Thank you. So what will be the next step now after this working group? There is in November there has been a new working group which is in charge of the technical implementation related to the changes, and it is developed by the Joint Research Center. First, what they are doing is really to provide to improve this monitoring dashboard. So now the monitoring will be done from this monitoring dashboard, so to calculate automatically the indicator. So now, as you said, as I've said, the indicator will be based on the metadata and displayed on this INSPIRE dashboard. There will be also an online system for the update of the country fees. So actually these tools has been tested at the beginning of this year by 6 member states, and it seems that the result was okay. They will be presented at the next MICTI the next week, and probably after May, there will be a date of official launch. So actually, they have security issue to give you the opportunity to use this tool, but we will see. Another point is that they are also busy with the guidelines for reporting. I think that yesterday there is now a new version published for the monitoring of May 2019. But of course, there are still the technical guidelines to write up. Next, please. Next. Okay, so what are about the legal and organizational aspects? The implementing rule will be voted at the European Parliament, and probably they should be now, and they would enter into force in April. The next. No, what we are now, 2019, we are in a transitional period. So what does that mean? That means that for the 15 May 2019, we keep the current system for the monitoring. So we will use this XML file. The indicator will be still from the current system, and there is no news to new change to apply. But we will move to the new system the second half of this year. That means that the new timestamp related to the change will be the 15th December 2019. And member state or the Commission will ask to member state to provide the monitoring according to this new system. In March, of course, as it is automatically harvested, the COM will, of course, provide draft monitoring result for approval by the member state. So it's also a key matter that it should, even if there is an automated calculation of the monitoring, it should remain under the control of the member state. Next, please. So, regarding the reporting, we have a reporting to provide also for the 15th of May, but it will be migrated into the new system. And we will use the country fish. It will be based on the update of the country fish of the exercise that has been made in 2016. And if you go to INSPIRE in your country, you will be able to see this country fish. And you will have just to update manually the textual part state of the art, and to upload this Word document as well together with the monitoring file. Next, please. So, regarding the migration of this country fish, in fact, GRC has proposed a workflow because we will have to renew this country fish with the new indicators. And so if you see the proposed workflow of the GRC is that member state will ask to edit the content between the 1 and the 15th of December and declared ready for the ECA review. So to provide the country fish draft. There will be an evaluation from the environmental and GRC, and there will be probably some updates, then endorsement, and then a publication by the 31st of March. Next, please. So what will be the technical impact? This well, it's under investigation, under analysis, but that's clear. We need to succeed in the good interoperability and data service linking, so that the indicator can retrieve the fact that a metadata data set is viewable or downloadable. The compliancy of the metadata will be also checked by means of validator, and the validator of reference will be the one who is stated on the new EU Geo portal, and the current one will become obsolete. So GRC has proposed new tools for uploading and metadata and checking INSPIRE compliancy. All this will be available on the new EU portal, and as well for harvesting monitoring. GRC has proposed also that we can buy or serve the harvesting of the monitoring. So actually everything is harvested automatically by GRC, but they would allow also the member state to do so. My conclusion, so next please. Next. My conclusion, let's just finish this presentation, is that the monitoring will be fully automated based on the metadata. There will be a new simplified reporting approach with a yearly country-fiche, and don't forget that now the new timestamp for official monitoring and reporting is the 15th of December. That the main change is also showing the progress in the implementation more than that the state of the art, and that it will allow comparable information between member states. 2019 is a year of transition to migrate from the current system to the new one, and that technical impacts has still to be analyzed. So next, please. So thank you for your attention, and if you have any question, please do, or if other which have better expertise to me want to add information, they are also welcome.
Thank you, Natalie, very much. It was very comprehensive and clear information. I'm just looking for the raised hands. Yeah, I see the first hand raised by Eva Surma from Poland. I activated your microphone, Eva. You can speak.
Yes, good morning. Thank you, Natalie, for the very comprehensive presentation. Just maybe not the question, maybe a few compliments. If it goes about the dates, the 15th December will be the date where the Commission, right, push the button if it goes about monitoring. For the official reporting, we have it is changed not only by the reporting monitoring decision, but also by the other the whole package, environmental package, and the date is set for the 31st of March. So far, it is 15th of May, and in this year, 2019, we will still have 15th of May. But next year, the deadline will be 31st of March. Just for the clarification. But for the monitoring, the button will be pressed, the snapshot will be pressed on the 15th of December, and then the countries will have a few days to look at the metadata. And regard the country issue, it's also worth to mention that it is a new approach, but it's not like a totally new document, because the main part, it is taken from the old reporting. It is reconstructed, but still the state of play, it's more or less what we were doing within the reporting. But what I wanted to mention is some summary key facts that, like Natalie said, is taken from the monitoring, but also the other chapters, like the outlook and the specific recommendation, will be done by the Commission. And this is what is new in this whole report, right? That there are specific recommendations for the countries, what they should improve, what is going okay. Yes, I think more or less. And thank you once again, Natalie, for this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Eva. Has anyone else any question or comment regarding to Natalie's presentation? I do not see any raised hand, and I do not see any posed question. So then I think we can move further as agreed in our webinar program. So then I'd like to pass my screen to Paloma from Spain. Just let me to do this. Okay. You should get a notification, Paloma.
Hello. Hello, Sarius.
Hello.
Good morning.
We hear you well, so yes. And we see your screen.
Yes. Well, one moment. Now. Good morning. I'm responsible for Spanish monitoring. I would like to show us the list of the special dataset and spatial data service corresponding to the Spain themes. The first point is about our catalogs. If you enter on your portal Spanish.ci, you can find two catalogs. What is the difference? The first catalog is called IDE catalog and has more 6,200 datasets. Those datasets have a geographic coverage, local, regional, or national. Some datasets aren't in electronic format, or they relate to one or more of the themes listed in INSPIRE Annex, like all maps or topographic maps. The second catalog is an official catalog of INSPIRE dataset and service, called COSIT, and has 242 datasets. This dataset has local, regional, national coverage too, and all of them relate to one or more of the themes listed in INSPIRE Annex. And this point is important. All of them must comply or commit to comply with INSPIRE. The GeoPortal INSPIRE harvests metadata files of the COTSI. The requirements of monitoring have been different each year. This has resulted in different number of datasets and service. Since 29 has been decreased the number of the datasets in each monitoring. The datasets weren't same as datasets another year. There weren't any priority datasets. Most datasets of only them didn't cover whole territory, and the scales of the datasets weren't the same. You can see which the number of datasets were different in each year. In this table, you can see the temporal evolution of main space indicators. The list of the datasets were discrete, and for years, the comprised dataset and service were 0. In 2016, we established a list of the datasets, and their indicators were progressively improved. In the last monitoring, the indicator about comprised service has been satisfactory, was 18%. And we have to improve in comprised datasets. Now we have only 20%. Now there are 242 datasets, an official catalog of INSPIRE data and service. And this is an unstable list. You can see the all themes, INSPIRE themes, and how many datasets there are. Most datasets have national cover. they comply with space regulation. Well, we should comply with space regulation, but there are some things without dataset, like atmospheric condition or population distributions. And if one theme has 2 or 3 datasets, don't mean that all feature types are published. Now there are new monitoring indicators about environment of mind. You should distinguish the priority datasets with a new keyword. The last year, the responsible for priority datasets did the tags on metadata file. Now, in the geoportal INSPIRE, there are 80 datasets and 80 feature types and 70 layers. And geographic scope, national or regional, overlay datasets and EC2. This is an example about the cadastral parcel in Spain. The cadastral parcel is produced by 5 organizations. The first is Spanish General Directory for Cadastre. It is a national organization. The second is a organization regional, the Government of Navarre. And the 3, 4, and 5 organization is a local organization, Álava, Guipúzcoa, and Vizcaya. All of them complete the data about the cadastral parcel in the themes. The second example, national, is the land cover and use information system in Spain, are produced by different data of regional and national administrations. In Spain, they are another products produced by regional and national administration, like elevation, orthoimagery, transport network. The advantages are the national and regional administration requirements are satisfied, avoid duplicate and data and reduce cost of geographic information, integrate regional administration in the management and quality. And the regional organization can publish the dataset like regional, for example, Canary. Now, on geoportal INSPIRE, there are 219 datasets and 141 feature types. But what are those feature types? Are there feature types repeats? How many feature types are left? To answer those questions, we have done an exercise to account the feature types we have published. In this table, you can see the feature types in Spain. In this column, you can see the number of the feature types defined by INSPIRE. And this column is we have feature types published on WeFeature service on Atom. For instance, there are 6 feature types in administration units. We have published only 2 feature types. In Spain, don't publish or inform to Commission of baseline, maritime boundary, or maritime zones. But, for example, cadastral parcel is complete, is 100%. This is the same type, but the honest stress. With this, it is not enough to inform the team. It's necessary to know how many feature types aren't published. The conclusions. Well, Spanish has undertaken a major effort to inform of priority datasets. All priority datasets are identified. In Spain, we know of responsible for priority datasets. The datasets of Annex 1 cover national territory. Some regional datasets take part in national dataset like transport network or images, but there are regional and local datasets with a major detail that they don't inform to commissions. There are some themes without datasets, for example, biogeographical regions, population distribution, or demographic. And we are working at feature types level. And the second step, we will analyze the attributes of feature types. We know we have all the feature types and their attributions. And it's a, thank you. Yeah, it's a finish. I'm quickly. Thank you very much.
Thank you a lot, Paloma. Thanks. Now we have a possibility to pose a question to Paloma. If anyone has anything to clarify, please raise your hand or type a message in the chat window. I don't see any raised hand so far, so I think it's okay. So it was well presented, I assume, and very clear. So then, thank you very much, Paloma. I'm passing the screen to our next presenter, which is D.Laurent from France. Dominique, you should receive a message now on this. Yes, we see your screen.
Yes. Is it working?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So good morning, everyone. So I am Dominique Laurent from IGN France. I am not myself responsible for monitoring, but I have been involved in several discussions through email exchange and meetings regarding these new rules about monitoring process. And I thought interesting to show a case very different from Spain. Is it working? First, some French context. In the French national SDI, INSPIRE has been used as a driver to share data at national level. As a result, we have a big number or even a huge number of INSPIRE datasets. I don't know exactly how many. I have heard it should be something between 35,000 and 100,000. So it's really a huge number of datasets. Of course, there are lots of local datasets. And in opposite to Spain, some have limited intersection with INSPIRE data models. So we will be really in trouble to make them compliant with INSPIRE because they have small intersection with INSPIRE data models. So we don't have only reference data, but also lots of very specialized, lots of business data. And of course, it makes it very difficult to discover relevant data sets on our geocatalog, on our national geocatalog. And probably our big number of data sets is also, in a way, polluting the INSPIRE geoportal. So what is the impact of the new rules on monitoring and reporting? On the positive side, the automatic reporting, in fact, France was already a pioneer, and maybe it was the good practice examples about this harvesting of metadata to compute automatically indicators. So it's already what we did in the past. The main change is that it will be done by the European Commission. So for us, it will be just a light change. Maybe we will have a little less work, but I'm not even sure because, as Nathalie explained, maybe we will have still to harvest our own metadata to make the checking. So for us, it's not such a big change. The main topic, the main discussion topic we have is about these additional keywords in metadata. The first action in France was some preventive action. It was some lobbying and negotiation with the Commission, because in a previous proposal, the idea was to provide the geographic extent for each data set. And for France, with our huge number of data sets, it would have created a big burden for many data producers. So we were really against this initial proposal. But now, the current rules with national and regional additional keywords are considered as a reasonable consensus because we consider them as useful, of course, for the INSPIRE geoportal, but also for ourselves, for our geocatalog. And the additional burden is considered as reasonable because only few data sets and few data producers will be concerned, and generally the biggest one who has the possibility to update the metadata easily. So in an explicative note, the European Commission asked to tag the selected reference dataset that are considered to be national or regional reference dataset. From what I understood, this notion of reference disappeared from the European text, but in France we have considered that it was still useful for us to keep this idea of reference dataset for tagging the national and regional dataset. And we had lots of discussion ongoing. They are not finished, not definitive. They are ongoing in the CNIG, that is the National Council for Geographic Information. It's the coordinating structure for INSPIRE, and there is a commission about the INSPIRE implementing rules. And we had already 2 meetings, one in December, where we had some initial discussion, and we had also some discussion about the methodology to decide what is regional, national, and reference, saying that probably we will need some mix of selection criteria and also going through a list and deciding for each theme which should get this regional or national tag. And we had also a meeting yesterday, so I am providing you quite fresh news, but sometimes not totally definitive. So it's more about discussion than about definitive decision, what I am explaining. So some discussion examples regarding regional data. We were wondering about the production mode, if we should tag as regional only data that was directly produced by the region, or also data that has been produced at lower level, for instance, by department or municipality, and integrated by the region. In fact, from Nathalie's presentation, I understood that the second case should also be tagged by regional. To be honest, during our meeting, the decision was not so clear. It was rather in favor of both options, both direct production or integration, but it was not so clear, to be honest. Something maybe more interesting, we had some discussion about the delivery mode and the dataset granularity. The example is the theme cadastral parcel, because we have one national product that is called PCI, it means Digital Cadastral Plan. We have one national producer, that is the taxation office, but at the moment it's delivered with one data set and one metadata fiche per municipality. So in practice, we don't have one data set, but we have around 35,000 local data sets, as many data sets as municipalities. So we have decided to keep, to tag this cadastral data with the national keyword, but in practice, I am quite afraid that it will remain a huge integration work that will remain on users. And this case may also be of interest, for instance, if we decide to move from WFS to atom field with predefined dataset, it's also a case that may be raised once again, to have one product but several datasets. We had also some more specific discussion. For instance, the priority dataset for environmental reporting. By obligation, they cover the national territory, but in practice, is it necessary to add the national tag in addition to the priority dataset tag? So we don't really know, and the decision was to ask the European Commission. Some other example, It's an example about how large-scale land cover data. In fact, it's done at regional level. It's done by IGN and regions. There is some partnership, and it's based on national standard. It intends to cover the whole France, but it's a long-term goal, and until now, only small part of France is really covered. So the decision is that metadata should document current data, and until now, the large-scale land cover should be tagged only with the regional coverage, not the national one, because there are more holes than data, to be honest. Another discussion topic, we had the global understanding that these additional keywords aim to facilitate integration of pan-European data to find the relevant data. Of course, the ideal solution will have to get national coverage. Then it will be to get regional data produced according to some standard, national or international one. And the last possibility will be any regional data. We have this discussion that integrating heterogeneous regional data could be quite challenging, but nevertheless, it was better than no information, no data at all, that even if not standardized, our regional data should be tagged with the regional coverage. Regarding reference data, we had some conflicting viewpoints. We expect in future that there will be more interoperability obligations on national or regional data. So it should push us to have a small list. As in Spain, my idea was that it would be nice to keep only the data that is compliant with INSPIRE or that can commit to be compliant with INSPIRE. But on the other hand, we have regions that are quite willing to have their data recognized as reference, so to get also the regional tag. So we had this balance to be found between keeping the list rather small or enlarging it. And maybe our decisions were not so clear about it. We had these two trends. We have also discussed some criteria for our data to be recognized as reference and so to deserve the national or regional tag. And there was one clear criteria. We need perennial data, not data that is produced just for once and by some organism whose perennity is not ensured. And the second criteria is if something is recognized as a national reference by regulation, it should be also reference for INSPIRE. So some conclusions and learnings. In practice, during our yesterday meeting, we have worked mainly with a list of candidate data set, even if we have also discussed some criteria. But in opposite to Spain, I think we don't have enough knowledge about these candidates. At least for some themes, we are not even aware of if we have missing data sets or which data set could be good candidate. In practice, we don't know. Maybe because we have too many data sets and we are in trouble. And our work is still ongoing. During our yesterday meeting, we had not decision for each theme. We took the theme first, Annex 1, then Annex 2, and in the order. And the last theme of Annex 3 has not been discussed. On some data sets, we have still some doubts and discussion is, interrogation mark, discussion is still ongoing. We had some general criteria to decide if it was national, regional or not. But I will say in most cases, we have made case-by-case decision. I don't think we have a real, very clear policy, at least not yet at the moment, regarding this national and regional keywords. So many thanks for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dominique. Now we have a possibility to pose any question or comment to first Dominique's presentation, and if anything to be clarified to other presenters, it would also be an opportunity to raise any question if you have. So please raise your hand or type the question. So far, I don't see any hand raised. So I think we got a clarity on the given presentations, and I think in case of any further clarification, of course you can send message to any of presenter by email or communicate by INSPIRE KEN Basecamp, or as well if you can contact me, and I'll assure that your message will be available to the recipients. So
maybe
yes, please.
Yes, Solis. Maybe someone want also to say some words about national experience, if they have something to share with us. Yeah,
the good point. Does anyone want to share any news or points regarding the national activities on monitoring reporting of INSPIRE? Okay, I see that Natalie wants to say something. I just click. Yeah, please, Natalie, speak.
Yes, thank you, Solis. I wanted to come back to my own opinion on the way to classify this national regional aspect. Speaking about, as you say, Dominique, what about aggregation? What is national? What is regional? It's just a comment that it should be in a way directed by the metadata. So in the description they have done, it is also possible to declare the data set at different level. For example, if you have some aggregation and that you decide to document it as a whole, it can be declared as national, even if it is produced regionally or organized in a regional matter. I just to give you an example of what we have done for the Water Framework Directive. We have data set for which are all maintained, provided at regional level, but as a whole, we provide that we documented them as a single metadata dataset. So that means that for INSPIRE, we have decided to provide a single metadata, but with 3 different owners. So they are at regional level, and it's to really make clear to the Commission that it's available at national level. So it is an example. Another one is that we have also regarding protected sites. We have, of course, it's also managed at regional level, because environmental in Belgium is a regional responsibility, but we have an exception for the maritime platform, which is at the national level. However, as they share similar information, we might consider that it is classified regional, because so far we are not able to provide an aggregated or common view on those data sets. So it's this kind of things how we can share with it. Okay, that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you, Natalie. I see that no more hands raised. I'm just checking the questions in the chat window. No, I think we don't have any pending question or interest to comment more. So then I thank all of the presenters. Thanks a lot for giving this overview and sharing experience on INSPIRE monitoring and reporting. As I said, the presentations will be uploaded to the website, and the record will be stored in the YouTube channel, EuroGeographics YouTube channel. The link will be provided from the website as well. So thank you very much for all, and by those words, I'd like to close the webinar. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thanks. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.